Well, we're going to get started, everybody. Thank you for coming today. My name is Joe. I'm the president and CEO of the Glendora Chamber of Commerce, and out of all the chambers promoting this workshop, I was voted as tribute. So I have to. No, but on behalf of all the chambers, Azusa, Duarte, Glendora, Laverne, and San Dimas, welcome you. And then also a big thank you to SoCal Gas for putting this on and being our presenter today. SoCal Gas is a chamber champion, and they really support our local chambers and all of our businesses here. So I'm going to turn it over and introduce it to Mr. Bob Cruz. He's the public affairs manager for SoCal Gas in our area. So thank you, Bob, for being here today, and it's all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. I'd like to thank the chambers that are involved. I'd like to thank all the restaurants that have joined in. My name is Bob Cruz. As Joe said, I am the public affairs manager for SoCal Gas for the area, for the East San Gabriel Valley. I have 16 cities I represent. I've been with the gas company probably longer than some of you have been alive. I've been with them 45 years, starting my 45th year. Just a little bit before I introduce our guest speakers. SoCal Gas is the nation's largest natural gas distribution utility. We have been around for over 150 years. And again, I've been part of that for 45 of them, so that's good. We manage over 100,000 miles of pipeline to get natural gas to about 22 million customers. And pretty much everybody in Southern California uses SoCal Gas for their natural gas needs. COVID-19, I hope everybody's staying safe. I mean, we just got a decision yesterday from the governor that we're going to, I guess, batten down the hatches one more time. And I just hope everybody's staying safe. This is a serious time, but I hope the information you receive today is going to help you at least get through some of this. And even it'll just be future information or future reference material that you'll have, but I think you're going to find the information quite beneficial. At this time, I'd like to introduce our two guest speakers from Southern California Gas Company. Our first speaker will be Karen Oliver. She works for the Energy Efficiency Group under Customer Programs. She specializes in programs for our food service customers like yourselves, restaurant owners, chefs, managers. Carmen has worked for SoCal Gas for over 19 years, so you have a ways to go before you catch up to me, Carmen.
Yeah.
And she supervises our vendor outreach team. Carmen has a background in mechanical engineering and is a certified food service energy efficiency expert, FE3, and she'll tell you what that means because I don't know. Her team is responsible for remaining in contact with food service vendors and keeping them informed on rebates, new technologies, and various SoCal programs. So that's Carmen Oliver. Our next presenter who you'll be hearing from is Gina Christian. She's a technical specialist in the Southern California Food Services Equipment Center in our Downey Energy Resource Center. You'll hear more about that center later. Gina's area of expertise at the center includes promoting energy savings through the purchase and implementation of gas cooking equipment. You're going to want to make a note of that. Scheduling and conducting demos and trainings with customers in the food service industry. Developing educational seminars and events based on current and future needs and trends. She is a liaison between the Southern California School Nutrition Association, California Restaurant Association's Foundation Pro Start program, careers through culinary arts programs, supporting the vendor outreach program, and networking in the industry to promote the ERC and their services and resources. And the one thing I want to tell you about these two ladies, they are actual hands-on practitioners. They didn't learn this from a book. Some of it they did, I will say that, but they are actual practicing practitioners in the food industry. So without further ado, I'd like to basically have Carmen start the presentation. And Joe, I think you're going to handle it from here.
Oops, I think you're on mute.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I will share my screen for the presentation when you're ready.
Okay, and I think Gina's actually going to get us started.
Okay, sorry, I was on mute. So good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for having us present today and share about our center in Downey. We are very proud of our Energy Resource Center and our Food Service Technology Center and the outreach that we can provide for the commercial restaurant and food service community. So our center is located in the city of Downey, and we are actually the largest testing kitchen of its kind in the United States. We have a lot of utility partners that participate with us, and here in California, there's Edison, and there is San Diego Gas and Electric and PG&E up north, but our center is the largest and offers the most opportunity for the industry to come in and use our facility. So we have, the center is located on Firestone Boulevard in the city of Downey. We are accessible by freeway, which is great. And the one benefit that we really like to talk about is what our programs and services inside the center has to offer to the commercial food service customer. And as a restaurateur, as a budding restaurateur, even if you're just a culinary student wanting to get involved in the industry, we have a lot that we can offer you. So let's go on to the next slide. So, Carmen, do you want to talk about this one? Because when we had the presentation with Colin, he introduced this slide.
Sure.
So would you like to take this one?
Sure. So Robert gave a little bit of background about SoCal Gas, who we are, what we do. One thing that I do want to mention is that we have over 37,000 restaurants in our service territory. So as you can imagine, the restaurant industry is very important to the gas company. We have an entire department dedicated just to food service. So we have programs and services that are designed for this industry, and that's what we're going to be going over today. So next slide.
All right. So Carmen and I will be sharing some of the information on this slide. So as you can see, we have 6 squares on this slide, and the SoCal Gas ERC offers a variety of energy efficiency rebates, incentives, and services. So the Try Before You Buy program is a program that is set up so as a restaurateur, if you are looking to purchase new equipment or you are looking to upgrade the equipment and you want to test one brand against another, so it's sort of like taking a car for a test drive. You can come in, we can set you up with multiple pieces of equipment, if it's fryers, if it's combi ovens, if it's rack ovens, pizza ovens, steamers, kettles, you name it. We've got over 160 pieces of equipment in our center, and we represent about 65 different manufacturers. So you can try before you buy. And this gives you an opportunity to test out the features and benefits of those pieces of equipment to see what you like and what you don't like. Also, what fits underneath your hood. Hood space is expensive real estate within a restaurant kitchen, and you want to find that piece of equipment or multiple pieces of equipment that will fit underneath that hood so that you're in compliance with the health department. We have trainings and seminars. Those trainings and seminars are free to attend. We don't charge anything for those. They're held in our center, but of course, right now, since we're closed, we're actually holding our training and seminars online. And we'll share with you some links later on in the presentation where you can access the transcripts and the presentations from those trainings and seminars. But those are set up to give the industry an opportunity to come in and learn about multiple topics, preventative maintenance for your equipment, natural gas combustion, combi ovens, multiple different comparing fryers, one fryer to another, learning about the technology. If you want to come in and learn about, we did one last year all about canning and jam making and preserving. We've held trainings on food safety and sanitation, commercial design of your kitchen, working with different consultants on asking them questions on how to set up the kitchen, not the front of the house, because we focus on the back of the house. Our rebates and incentives, I'm sorry, that's going to be one that Carmen's going to handle. I'm sorry. The commercial service technicians, that is our group of service men and women out in the field that you see driving in the trucks that say SoCal Gas, where they can come into your kitchen. They can do troubleshooting on your equipment, check your gas pressure, check your regulators, light pilots, do minor repairs and replacement of parts. Now, the well checks for the equipment, there's no cost for that. But if they do need to replace a part, there is a minimal charge for that, but it is all done through our service techs in the field. And our California Energy Wise resources, that is a website that will provide you with the link at the end of the presentation, where you're able to find multiple pieces of information that can help you with making a decision on how you want to put that equipment into your kitchen. And Carmen's going to talk about the energy savings plans and the rebates and incentives.
Yeah, so we have some energy saving programs that I'm going to go over in detail in the presentation, but programs that are designed to save energy, save money. We also have rebates and incentives, and these programs are designed to help alleviate the cost of purchasing high efficiency equipment, and we will go into the details in all of these programs in the presentation. So next slide.
So this is just a small snapshot of one of our commercial kitchens in our center. So we have 3. This one happens to be our commercial stage. And this stage is part of an auditorium, which we can seat 125 people in. And you have full access to watch any type of demonstration or presentation that's on this stage when we host our seminars. But if you want to come in with a vendor or one of your equipment reps, you're also able to reserve this space. It's a nice space to have because it's pretty much, you have a little bit more privacy than when you're in the main kitchen. And we can set it up with, as you can see, there's multiple pieces of equipment there, and we can mock what an actual cook line would be in a kitchen. Now, my coworker that's in the front of the picture, Will, he's at our chef's table, and that chef's table is on the stage at all time. And that's a great place to be able to set up your presentations and actually work with your with the chefs from the different companies when you come in. The main kitchen is behind this stage, and it has 8 different hoods. And those 8 hoods are set up where the equipment can be, we call it plug and play. So we have utility distribution walls in which the electrical and the gas connections and the water connections are provided. So you can bring in a piece of equipment, we can move it out and put something else in its place. And those 8 different hoods are all completely functional. We also have a ventilation and baking lab, which is on the opposite side of our building, which is set up to look like an actual commercial industrial bakery. And it too can accommodate 5 different hoods, and those hoods can also be plug and play with the different pieces of equipment. Between myself, my coworker Will, my other coworker Ricky, and our manager Melissa, we have multiple years of experience in the food service industry, and we have varied backgrounds. So we can help you with multiple different questions that you have or ideas that you want to incorporate into your kitchen. So the seminars, as I mentioned prior, there's no cost to attend. We have different topics each month. So if you want to visit the socalgas.com/foodservice webpage at any time after this presentation, you'll be able to spend a lot of time navigating through there. You can look at our equipment inventory list. You can look at the different manufacturers. You can look at our Try Before You Buy program. You can look at our different resources. You could also see a video, and I believe Robert might have shared that video with the chambers to send out to the members. But it's a really good, it's about 3.5-minute overview of our entire center and shows you what goes on in there. So next slide. So the commercial service technicians, those are, like I said, the men and women that you see out in the field wearing the blue shirts. And those no-cost services are listed there: calibrations, burner adjustments, diagnostic assistance, cleaning of burners or orifices, burner replacements, and new thermostats. And one thing I want to mention here, because I noticed we have a gentleman from Farmers Insurance. With your commercial restaurant customers, it's important that they really understand about their gas cooking equipment, because with a flame, you've got some predicaments that can occur that you don't have with electric. And having their equipment properly maintained and serviced and cleaned and having it checked out maybe once every 6 months can really help them in their future of their restaurant, so they don't have to incur any type of fire or breakdown or any kind of disaster that can occur. And I know that premiums, insurance premiums, can be pretty high at times. And that might be a way in which you can encourage your customers to have the gas company come in and do a well check on their equipment to make sure it's operating properly, so they don't have to incur any type of additional cost afterwards. And the phone number that's listed here is the 800 number that the restaurateur can call and set up the appointment for the service tech to come into their kitchen and do the repairs or the equipment well check. Next slide.
Okay, so one of the programs that we have for our restaurant customers is called Commercial Direct Install. And Direct Install provides no-cost evaluation and installation of energy and water-saving devices to our customers throughout our service territory. So this particular program is not exclusively for restaurants, but the vast majority of our restaurants do qualify for Direct Install. You just have to be a non-residential customer, use less than 50,000 therms per year. So the way that this program works is an energy efficiency representative will arrange a time to come and visit your restaurant. While they're there, they will do an assessment and make recommendations for the installation of energy and water saving devices. So if you agree with the recommendations and want the installation done, you just let them know and they will arrange a time to come back and do the installation. So the measures that are incorporated in this program are hot water pipe and tank insulation, low flow kitchen pre-rinse spray valves, low flow faucet aerators, and if applicable, low flow shower heads. And as I mentioned, everything in this program, from the assessment to the measures to the installation, is at no cost to the restaurant customer. So if you are interested in signing up for Direct Install, this is just a fabulous program. We hope a lot of customers take advantage of it. Just go to our website, which is socalgas.com, type in Commercial Direct Install, and all of the information will be there as far as how to sign up. Okay, next slide. All right, so we also have an energy audit program. And so with this program, we'll go into a food service facility, we'll take a look at your gas use and your electric use and your water use. We'll analyze your utility bills, we'll talk to the people who are operating the equipment so we have a good idea on how energy is being used at your facility. And then we present you with a comprehensive energy analysis that has recommendations for saving energy and for saving water. And a lot of times the recommendations that we make are either low cost or even no cost measures, just behavioral things that the restaurant operators can do to reduce their energy use. There's no cost for this energy analysis. Right now, obviously, we are not able to make in-person visits, but once the quarantine is lifted and we are able to resume our energy audit program, we want to be able to hit the ground running. So if you're interested in getting a free energy audit, then please call this number that's on the screen. Just leave us your name, some contact information, the name of your restaurant, and let us know that you want to sign up for the energy audit program. Okay, next slide. All right, so we also have an energy efficiency rebate program, and this program provides funding for the purchase and installation of high efficiency equipment. And the reason why we have this program is because often the price of buying high efficiency equipment is more than if you just buy standard equipment. And we're doing what we can to encourage our customers to be as energy efficient as possible. So this program sort of bridges the gap and makes the cost of buying high efficiency equipment more affordable for the customer. So this program is open to non-residential customers. You just have to have an active gas company account, and the equipment must be installed in 2020. And this is important because sometimes we'll get questions like, oh, I just put in a fryer 6 months ago. Can I still apply for the rebate? And the answer is absolutely yes. So as long as the equipment is installed in 2020, you could have bought the equipment in 2019, but the installation date, then if it's in 2020, then you can still apply for the rebate. And we have more details about our rebate program on the CaliforniaEnergyWise.com website. And I'm going to be going over this website in detail in just a couple of slides, but this has all of the information on our energy efficiency rebate program. Okay, next slide.
Before I start with this, Carmen, can you share the father's office success story with the rebates? I mean, even though that's not within the cities that we're presenting to today, it can give the attendees an idea of what amount of money they can achieve with the rebate.
Sure. So there's a restaurant in Los Angeles called Father's Office that the gas company worked with to provide some rebates. We were able to give them rebates for a combi oven, for 4 fryers, and for a griddle. And because they were in an area that we partner with the electric utility, we were also able to give them some money for a demand control ventilation system. And that restaurant got over $11,000 worth of rebates from the gas company. So the rebates that we have, it's not $25 for a piece of equipment. They're pretty significant. So Gina's going to be going over these rebate categories, but definitely know that this program is something that can help you to be more energy efficient and to save money.
So that little bit helps because it can be used to purchase things like extended warranties on your equipment. It can go towards installation of the equipment. So there's multiple ways you can spend your rebate dollars. So the natural gas rebate categories, now there is on our California Energy Wise website, we have a link to our qualified product list. So each category that you see here in this slide will have a spreadsheet that lists multiple manufacturers and model numbers of pieces of equipment that have already been tested and approved for energy efficiency, and they have a rebate dollar amount assigned to each category. So combination ovens, those are not new, but they're becoming more and more prevalent within food service kitchens because of their multiple use capabilities. A combination oven, for those of you that are not familiar with it, it's a piece of equipment that basically is a steamer and a convection oven in one cavity that has the capabilities of about 11 different cooking functions. So you can steam in it, you can fry in it, you can broil, you can bake, you can roast, you can overnight cook, you can sous vide cook in it, you can preserve, you can dehydrate, and it can be installed in a kitchen and take the place of maybe 2 or 3 other pieces of equipment so that you can save that footprint space under your hood for another piece of equipment that you want. Convection ovens, those are basically a standard workhorse in a commercial kitchen, but a lot of commercial kitchens are taking those convection ovens out and moving to combi ovens. So with a combi oven, you can get up to a $2,500 rebate for a combination oven. With a convection oven, you can get anywhere from $500 to $750 per deck. So if you order a double stacking set of convection ovens, you can get anywhere from $1,000 to about $1,500 for those. Rack ovens, the far right picture, those are the rack ovens. Those are ovens that are set up where you actually roll a trolley into the oven, and when you close the door, the oven starts to rotate in a clockwise position. Now, if you've gone into Whole Foods, Ralph's, Albertsons, Vons, and you're in the bakery areas, you will see those rack ovens, and they use those for other bakery programs. And they too have varied rebate amounts assigned to them based on the single rack or double rack, single rack, and the manufacturer. The conveyor ovens, those are the pizza ovens that you normally see at Costco. And Costco uses those conveyor ovens, and they have double stack and triple stack, but it basically works as a convection oven, but the product goes through on a conveyor, and they're very accessible. They're also very multi-use within a kitchen. And because they are stackable, you can go up to 3 ovens stacked on top of each other. So your production can be pretty huge. Griddles, we're all very familiar with griddles. Any place that cooks burgers, pancakes, breakfast programs, they're going to be using griddles. Fryers is the #1 piece of equipment in the rebate program. The fryers get $749 per tank. So if you have a double or triple tank fryer bank, that's 2 to 3 rebates there. And we did a fryer study at 7 or 8 years ago. And I don't know if I sent Robert that information, but I can send him the flyer on that. And that fryer study will show you how it was conducted, what the savings are. And it's important with fryers because they are one piece of equipment that normally in a restaurant that uses them that's turned on all day long, which can also cause degradation of the oil. And if your fryer is used properly, if you maintain the right temperature in the fryer, you clean your oil and polish it on a regular basis, you'll extend the life of your frying oil, you'll extend the life of your fryer burners, and you won't have to replace them as often, and your food will taste better. Steamers are another workhorse within a kitchen. We find a lot of those more in institutional type kitchens. Schools and hospitals use a lot of steamers. But any restaurant that especially has a Mexican themed menu or maybe an Asian themed menu, they're great for buns and any type of pastas, any type of, if you're doing tamales, they're great because you can do a batch of tamales in about 35 to 40 minutes in a steamer versus on top of a stove or a large burner. Broilers, The conveyor broilers, you'll see those in a lot of fast food. Burger King uses those and Dairy Queen uses those. And then the under fire broilers, which is the traditional that you see where you put the burger or the piece of protein on top of the grate. Commercial dishwashers and pre-rinse spray valves. Now, of course, we know those aren't gas operating, but we probably have 15 pages on our qualified product list that's dedicated to the pre-rinse spray valves. And that has a $20 rebate, and may not seem like a lot, but when you're spending $80, $90 on a faucet replacement, that $20 is a little bit of help. You know? So again, the qualified product list will have all these categories and will give you the rebate and amount that's equated to each piece of equipment. So next slide.
Okay, so how do you apply for a rebate? So there's 3 different ways that you can apply. One, you can apply online. You can go to the CaliforniaEnergyWise.com website, select rebates, and then select the gas company icon, and there will be a link to an online rebate application. You just fill out the application, upload your supporting documentation, and you're done with the application. You can also get to the online app through our SoCal Gas webpage. Just go to For Your Business and Energy Savings. You can also apply from a hard copy. You can contact us and we can mail you a copy, or you can download a rebate application from the website. Just fill it out by hand, scan it in, or mail it in to the gas company. And then we also have an instant rebate program where you can get your rebate right at the point of sale. So if you purchase your equipment from a vendor who is signed up on our instant rebate program, you get your rebate right at the cash register. There's no paperwork to fill out, and it's just absolutely seamless. And before we leave rebates, we know that given the current climate, the majority of restaurants are not looking to purchase equipment right now. The reason we go over these programs is because we just never know what's going to happen in the future. Maybe you're going to have to end up replacing a fryer. Maybe you'll be putting a new convection oven. So we want to make sure that our restaurant customers know that these programs are available. The rebates that we're talking about now are for 2020. We will have rebate programs in 2021. So we want to make sure that you are aware that these programs are here if and when you need them. Okay, next slide. Oh, next slide.
One second. It's not going forward for some reason. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so California Energy Wise. So we talked about this a couple times. So what is California Energy Wise? Well, it is a website and it offers energy saving resources to food service customers throughout California. So it offers information on seminars, on programs, on rebates, not just for SoCal Gas, but for SoCal Edison, for LADWP, even for San Diego Gas and Electric and PG&E. So wherever you are in California, you can use this website as a resource. So right here is a snapshot of the web or the rebates page. And if you look under the SoCal Gas icon, there is the qualifying product list that Gina was talking about. It has a list of all of the equipment that qualifies for our rebates. There's the rebate application. There is the list of participating vendors for our instant rebate program. And then there is the online rebate application. So in addition to rebate information, California Energy Wise has do-it-yourself energy surveys, design guides, cost calculators, so you can see how much energy you'd be saving with different pieces of equipment, and all of the information on the Try Before You Buy program for all of the California utilities. So it is just a fantastic resource. Definitely encourage you to take a look at this website and see all that it has to offer. Okay, next slide. Okay, Trade Pro. So Trade Pro is an online directory that's found on the SoCal Gas website. It has a list of different dealers that sell and install and service natural gas fired equipment. So if you are looking to do an energy efficiency project, you're not really sure where to start, you can always go to the Trade Pro directory. And Trade Pro is not just a phone book of different dealers. The dealers who are listed here have sold energy efficient equipment. They have been educated on the gas company programs, and they are experienced vendors and contractors who can work with you to help you achieve your energy project goals. So if you are going to be doing any projects, I encourage you to take a look and use the Trade Pro directory as a resource. Okay, next slide. Okay, so there are a couple of financing programs that are available for SoCal Gas customers. The first is SoCal Gas's on-bill financing program. So this program is for projects that are a little bit larger in scope, and they would involve multiple pieces of equipment. The projects that you're applying for the loan for must qualify for the rebate program. So what we mean by that is, let's say you're getting a loan to buy a new combi oven. You just have to make sure that the combi oven that you are purchasing is one that does qualify for one of our rebate programs. The loans are interest-free, unsecured loans, and the monthly repayments are made right on your utility bill. So it's very convenient. And then there is another financing program that the state of California, the Public Utilities Commission, and the investor-owned utilities all worked together to develop, and that is run by a third party called Go Green Financing. And they offer loans for residential and commercial and multifamily properties, but of course we're looking at the commercial loans. So this isn't a gas company program per se, but you do have to be a gas company customer or a customer from one of the other investor-owned utilities in order to apply for this loan. So there's no rebate program required. It's not tied to any specific energy efficiency program. And then there's more flexibility in the project size. So if you wanted to get a loan for something smaller in size, then the Go Green financing would be a good choice. So if you go to the SoCal Gas website, and you type in financing, then information on both of these programs will appear. And it'll give you more details on the terms and conditions of the loan and who to contact if you would like to apply. Okay, next slide. Okay, Gina?
So money saving tips for restaurants. I know that my family was in the special events business for years, and we also operated a restaurant, and I know firsthand how expensive it can be, and learning to operate lean is not always that simple. So we offer a class, and unfortunately this year we won't be hosting that class because we're currently closed, but we offer a preventative maintenance class that runs about 4 hours, in which we have our commercial service techs, which is the gentleman in the photo. And they come in and they spend 4 hours talking to restaurant owners and kitchen operators on things that you can do within your operation to help save money. And Carmen talked about the audits earlier, and those aren't bad to have. It's not so that the gas company can come in and tell you how to operate your kitchen, but it's to give you incentives on how to operate it with money savings. So insulating your hot water in your hot water lines, propping open your refrigerators and freezer doors. We know that this is very common in kitchens because you only have 2 hands and you're trying to run in the refrigerator or the freezer to grab things. You might take a trash can and prop the door open with it. You might take a crate. But remember, when you introduce warm air into a refrigerator or freezer, and once those doors are closed, it causes condensation, and that can have a lot of pull on your compressor and your motors. And that's where you can end up having a lot of issues with mechanical failures and breakdowns. And the other thing too is get up onto the top of your refrigerator or freezer. If you have a single, double, or triple door unit that's freestanding in your kitchen, vacuum out that compressor and the motor. Or if it's on top of your roof because it's a walk-in or you have a remote, get up on top of your roof and do the same thing. Clean those things out because debris, dust, grease gets into those. And if you don't have proper airflow, you're not going to have proper refrigerating and freezing inside your units. Fixing your leaky faucets, that's one place where those pre-rinse spray valves come in handy because they're hand operated, they're actuated, so that once you depress it, it has water flow. Once you release it, it stops the water flow. And when I talked earlier about fryers, so in a kitchen, I can remember when I was working as a manufacturer's rep in my previous job, I sold a lot of fryers. And it was not uncommon to go into a kitchen and find a fryer cranked up to 375 or 400 degrees because the kitchen was getting slammed, the fryer was getting used a lot, they wanted the food to go out faster. But what was happening is many times the outside of the food would cook, but the inside wouldn't. It would still be partially frozen or partially raw. Fryer manufacturers will tell you in their operating manuals to fry between 325 degrees and 350 degrees. That's the sweet spot within the fryer for extending the life of the oil, improving the food savings, and the food taste and quality and savings, because oil is expensive. And if you're not filtering or cleaning your oil on a regular basis, you're going to go through gallons and gallons and gallons per week. And the average 5-gallon jug of oil is anywhere from about $30 to $50. That's a lot of oil. And plus, then you've got to deal with disposing of that oil. And if you're not familiar with the built-in filtration systems, that of course is an upcharge when you're looking to purchase a new fryer. But those built-in filtration systems will save you money in the long run, and also it's a good prevention for any kind of accidents, oil spillage, or burning. And when you come into the center, once we open, if you like to come into the center, you can make an appointment and come in and just take a look at these fryers with the built-in filtration, and we can show you how they operate. You can cook with them so that you can see the difference on how you keep oil clean and how it will extend your fryer. But cleaning your equipment on a regular basis, cleaning your burners, your grill grates, your air filters, and the air filters are the ones in your hood. Carmen mentioned demand control ventilation systems. Those are mechanical systems that can be retrofitted into an existing hood, which will sense the temperature on the cook line and the kitchen. If the kitchen starts to get warmer, that system will kick in and it will start to pull that hot air out of the kitchen and the cook line out into the atmosphere and then bring cool air back in. And those demand control ventilation systems, like I mentioned, can be retrofitted. So if you have an older hood, you can still purchase one of these systems and it can be installed. Kitchens are warm areas. They get hot. People get hot. And you want to provide comfort in your kitchen also for your employees. And then it also helps with your air conditioning system because you're not putting that energy pull on your HVAC to keep your dining room and your kitchens cooler. Combi ovens, talked about those earlier in the presentation. Those also are a piece of equipment that can be specified with a built-in cleaning system. Those of you that use ovens know that ovens can get very dirty on the inside. And a combi oven is set up so that it utilizes the steam and the hot water inside the oven with a food-grade chemical, excuse me, to clean that oven on a regular basis. And it can be set up so that you can program it when you close your kitchen that night. It'll clean, it'll shut off, and it'll hold until the next morning when you come back in and that oven's ready to go. And one of the things we always talk about is never to use ice to clean a griddle. ice is cold, a griddle is hot. When you add cold to hot, you're going to cause cracking over time, warping, and degradation to that griddle. There's a lot of cleaning chemicals out there that are very easy to use and much safer for the griddle. And one thing I want to mention, this is a little bit off topic for this slide. We have a couple of seminars coming up this next few weeks, and I'll share those at the end, because we also have our grocery division that we are working with the grocery stores right now to help them with some of their energy savings programs. And I'll give you the dates for that if you have any members that are actually in the grocery business that have any kind of food service in their kitchens. And then we're also offering a couple of seminars starting this week on hot water heating systems and dishwashers. So that might be of interest to those of you that have that are having any problems or want to do any upgrades to your hot water systems or your dish machines. So, I just wanted to make that plug if you don't mind. Okay, next slide. So I had also mentioned earlier, this is another add-on to the California Energy Wise website. If you go to caenergywise.com and the page opens up, at the top there's a narrow orange banner that runs across. You can click on that and it will take you to this page here, in which you're able to navigate through the different resources and links that are available. I'm sure that many of you are just overloaded with information between the state of California, the state board, the health department, your cities, your counties. Rules are changing. The governor made an announcement this weekend that restaurants had to shut down again, and now it's pretty much everybody's been shut down again. You know, where do you go to get information? Who do you talk to? And trying to get through to the health department is pretty difficult right now. But there's a lot of resource links on this web page that you can access to give extremely specific and comprehensive information. There's some great checklists on how to reopen your restaurant. There's some great information on how to conduct your training, how to set up a COVID training plan with your staff, how to appoint one of your employees to be the lead so they can take that responsibility because you're still trying to keep your doors open, how to deal with vendors, how to get reestablished with vendors. And it's a really tough time right now. And I think if we can offer through the SoCal Gas and our other utilities can offer you resources, and also you can contact us. You know, we're more than happy to help you with this or to direct you to where you can find that information. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this slide and the next one, if you've already opened and now you've had to close again and you know you're going to reopen again, you more than likely have experienced much of what's on these next two slides. But we know the two biggest things are protection and prevention. And everybody's conscious. We know about wearing masks is a mandate. I know myself, I still wear gloves when I go out in public. I'm just trying to be a little bit more precautious. But protecting your staff, because you don't know who's coming into your restaurant or your establishment that might be a carrier. So you want to do as much as you can to protect your staff. And that helps with prevention of spreading the disease. Creating a plan, as I mentioned, the CA Energy Wise website has some really good comprehensive guidelines on how to create a worksite specific plan to help assess all of your work areas and to designate a person to help with implementing that program. Because training is going to be really important also. Maybe you've had to hire new employees that don't know much about your restaurant or your kitchen. And the veteran employees that you have who've been with you a long time, you know, they can assist with communicating to your new staff how your business is run, how you've handled your safety and sanitation protocols. But you want to really get involved with them, creating that plan and implementing it so that they all are on the same page and they're all practicing the same protocols. We have our new safe food handling guide. It's now available in English and Spanish and English and Chinese. And we can get the PDF of that to you. And we can also send out hard copies if those are requested. We can probably get them to your chamber leads and they can go ahead and distribute them to you individually. But those are really good. They were just updated with the help of the health department. So it has the current protocols in there. All right, next slide. So the guidance for protection and prevention, pretty much everybody that's serving food has either closed off their dining area right now because you're not able to have indoor dining. You've gone to outdoor dining and you've physically distanced. We're seeing plexiglass everywhere. Wouldn't that be the business to be in right now? When we had the 9/11, I thought, my God, I wish I'd have had stock in rubber gloves and bus tubs because of TSA, but now it's plexiglass. But you're seeing plexiglass set up grocery stores, especially when you go through the checkout stands. But anywhere where there's face-to-face contact, you're now doing it through a shield. Your disinfection and sanitation schedules. I know that many locations that I have been out to, grocery store, the pharmacy, I've gone to the post office, they have posted when they do their sanitation and disinfection. Those are important things for your customers once they come back into your restaurant to see that you have a vested interest in maintaining those schedules. If it's every hour, if it's every 2 hours, you know, putting hand sanitizer stations by the door, having extra soaps and towels, single-use towels in the bathrooms, showing that you actually have staff walking around the restaurant, you know, constantly cleaning so that they can see that there is a vested interest in keeping this disease from being spread. Physical distancing, we've seen how the physical distancing has been addressed. And I think it's been pretty spectacular how many restaurateurs have addressed this. They have been able to function with their takeout and delivery. So they don't have to worry about doing outside dining if they don't have the space for it. Of course, we know the health department is issuing those temporary permits for outdoor dining. And especially now because you can have alcohol delivered. So I know that there's a lot more takeout and delivery because you can have alcohol. But I had to go to a store last week to drop something off that I had purchased, and I had to do a return. And I was really surprised. The door had a sign that said masks are suggested but not required for entry. And I was like, I turned around and I thought, nope, I'm not going in. Because with the no mask, no entry, that's pretty much what we're seeing everywhere. But especially in food services, we know it's hard to be able to eat and drink, but that's why you've got the physical distancing to keep people away from each other so you can take your mask off to have your meal. And this checklist on the right side, the 5 steps to sanitize, that's one of the checklists that you'll find on that California Energy Wise website. So next slide. So this is a sample of the safe food handling guidelines. And like I mentioned, we can get the PDF out to everybody now if you'd like to have that. You can even print it off and laminate it if you'd like. These are pretty much standard, you know, you've been practicing these anyway as far as keeping yourself safe and your work area safe. But one thing I want to mention with takeout containers, now if you're providing a takeout container, the restaurant or the food establishment has to provide it. If you have a customer that's dining in at your patio, the wait staff or the kitchen staff will have to provide that and go out to the table and give it to the customer, and the customer will not be able to fill that. The actual food server or staff is going to have to fill those takeout containers right now. That's one of the guidelines that's in the California Department of Health and one of the OSHA guidelines. I know too that if any of your restaurants are very mindful about waste right now, we are accumulating more waste than we probably ever wanted. Because if you've had food delivered to your home or you've taken food out, you've noticed how many more pieces of disposable are in that bag as far as everything's wrapped. Where you may not have had so many things wrapped before, but you've got so many more pieces of disposable waste now that's going into our trash cans and landfills. You know, but again, you want to be able to create those safe work practices, have your guidelines, create your schedules, and it's going to be hard to communicate a lot of this to your customers because it's taking longer to get food out to them. There's more involved with having to get food to the table, and getting them to be patient with you and your staff. You're not doing this to make their life miserable. You're doing this to make yourself, your staff, and your customers' life safer when they're dining in or taking food out of your location. So next slide. So these next two slides are links that you can go to access a lot of the information that we've talked about, and be aware that these websites do update their information, especially the health department and OSHA. I've been noticing that their updates are there posted, and they pretty much indicate when the updates are posted. And some of these guidelines are pretty lengthy. You're going to want to go through the table of contents and access what's going to pertain to you, so you don't spend a lot of time that you want to be generating business reading. But these are all resources that you can access to help you. And the next slide has a continuance of those resources. So that FDA food safety checklist, I like that one. And same with the Cal OSHA, the general checklist for dining restaurants. Those two are really good, and they have the actual checklist made out so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. The next slide.
Okay, I know we're running a little late, so I just want to close by saying thank you to our restaurant customers for keeping gas in the kitchen. The restaurant industry is very important to SoCal Gas, and SoCal Gas really appreciates all of your support. There's lots of reasons why customers like cooking with natural gas, from better burner control, instant heat, reliable, abundant, cost-effective. Also, we have several uses of natural gas in food service, not just for cooking, but for water heating, for cook chill, for waste digestion, for washing and drying dishes, for sanitation. So just a variety of uses of gas in the kitchen. Next slide. So this is the screen that you can take a look at to contact us further. There's the physical address of our Energy Resource Center. If you have questions about rebates, then you can contact me. My information is on there. If you have information, or if you want information on the Energy Resource Center or Try Before You Buy, you can contact Gina Christian. And we just want to thank everyone for attending today, and just to say that the gas company is so proud to be a supporter of this industry. We're happy to do whatever we can to help our restaurant customers to be successful, to be profitable, and get through these very challenging times. So please use us as a resource and contact us if there's anything that we can do to help. And thank you to the San Gabriel Valley different chambers of commerce for putting this webinar together and giving us the opportunity to talk to your restaurant customers.
I'd like to, say the same. And I just went ahead and sent to Robert an email he can share with the chamber presidents. The seminars we have coming up are on tankless water heating solutions for commercial food service kitchens. We have one on optimizing dish rooms and hot water heating systems. And then we're also going to be holding one on guidelines for efficient hot water systems for commercial food service. So one thing I want to stress is that we don't sell the equipment. We are not brand specific. We're about natural gas. So you can ask us, well, which fryer do you like better, or which combi oven do you like better? I mean, I can share with you my opinion because I've worked with equipment for a very long time, but that's why we encourage you to do some research, set up an appointment for the try before you buy once we open up, because it's really important to pick what you like, pick what fits within your budget, and select what fits inside your kitchen and under your hood. So we're not going to drive you towards one brand over the other. Like I said, we're just about keeping natural gas in the kitchen. So again, thank you all very much. I appreciate being able to share what we do in our center. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us. We're home in our home offices, so we've got plenty of time to talk. More than we did already. Oh my God.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah, so I'd like to thank Gina and Carmen. There was one question. Somebody had their hand raised during the presentation. I apologize, we went a little bit long. So I'd like to at least take a couple of questions. There was a gentleman, I believe, from Farmers Insurance, if he's still on.
I think he had to leave.
Okay.
Yeah, we can follow up.
Yeah, we can follow up. But basically what I want to say is, again, thank you to Carmen and Gina. There's a lot of information, a lot of good information. I do want to mention one thing. Natural gas, the industry as we know it, is under attack. We do see ourselves as a solution moving forward into the future as an energy choice and option. I think Gina covered it very well, and Carmen, in terms of what its uses are for in your industry. But even as a consumer, I don't know about you, but when I go to In-N-Out, I want my hamburger to be cooked with natural gas. I'm sorry. If I'm barbecuing in the background and I'm grilling steaks, I'm not using an electric oven. And it's not a matter of because I work for the gas company. It's because it just tastes better grilled over natural gas or coals if you still do it the old-fashioned way. Mm-hmm. But I just want to emphasize that we are pushing for a balanced energy approach in California. And what I mean by that is anything's on the table. Renewable natural gas, which all the waste streams that restaurants produce, we're working with our waste haulers basically to convert that into renewable natural gas. Compressed natural gas for transportation, renewable natural gas, we use it for that as well. But it's wind, solar, natural gas, we still need electricity. And 50% of electricity generated in California depends on natural gas. So we're still part of the equation. We're here to serve you. Even during the COVID-19, our guys are out there. If you call, if you smell gas, they're out there just like pre-COVID. We are an essential service, and we are providing that essential service to our customers and our residents. So with that, if you have additional questions, you can send them to your executive director, chamber, and we'll get those answered for you. Again, I apologize, But thank you again for being part of this, and thank you for the chambers. I really appreciate it.